So in today's video, we've got another tablet by Lenovo, this time the Tab M10 FHD Plus. And this is the second generation. Some specs for this tablet. This comes with a MediaTek Helio P22T Tab octa-core processor. 4 of the cores run at 2.3 GHz and the other 4 run at 1.8 GHz. Now this does come with Android Pie, which I'm not sure why it is Android 10 yet, but hopefully it'll get that update. The screen on this one is a little bit larger than some of the other tablets. It's got a 10.3-inch 1920 by 1200 resolution at 220 ppi, and the brightness is 330 nits. This has 2 GB of RAM, 32 GB of storage, and it comes with Bluetooth 5.0, 8 megapixel rear-facing camera, and 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Now I paid $150 for this, but I'll leave a link in the description below with current pricing and more information. This also has Dolby Atmos. The good thing is this is USB-C charging with a decent sized charging cable. Charging brick, which I don't believe is quick charge or fast charge. Warranty and quick start guide. And of course your micro SD card ejection tool. Wow, this is definitely larger than I thought it would be. The back of this has a real nice matte black aluminum material, which really makes it feel a lot more expensive than $150. You can see they definitely slimmed down the bezels pretty much all the way around on this model. And I gotta say, in person, this definitely feels like it's worth more than $150. You can see the pogo pins here on the side. Looks like you can use this with their speaker dock or probably a certain keyboard case, so that's definitely nice to have. USB-C charging is down at the bottom. And the nice thing about this tablet is you've got one speaker on the bottom and another at the top. And also on the top is the headphone jack. And then on the right hand side, you've got the power and volume buttons. And then just below that is your micro SD card tray. You can expand storage with the micro SD card up to 256 gigabytes. So you can see it's using about 9 gigabytes of the 32 gigabytes available. And you can see this is on Android 9 or Pie. So I'll be curious to see if this does get Android 10. Now it looks like they're going with gestures for the navigation here on the home screen. Swiping up from the bottom gets you to all the apps. You can add a few shortcuts here to the notification shade, such as Dolby Atmos, Screen Assistant, Eye Protection Mode, Focus Mode. You've also got a screen recorder, casting, airplane mode, data saver. You've also got digital well-being and storage. When swiping left from the home screen, you're going to get the Google News feed, which I definitely prefer over Samsung's Bixby. If you're new to Lenovo products, they do give you some tips in order to get started with your new tablet. For the screen lock, you've got none, swipe, pattern, pin, and password. So you are going to get face recognition with this device. It also shows you can do a scrolling screenshot. You can hide the navigation bar. There's a few gestures they want to show you, such as quickly opening the camera app. Now, if you press the power button twice, it will jump to the camera app. They show you where to do your software updates. And this obviously has split screen mode. Okay, so the camera seems pretty snappy. I'll show you a few examples just so you can get an idea of what kind of photos you can get from this tablet. And I'll show you a couple examples of video as well. Now keep in mind, just like with most mobile devices, if you're not in a well-lit area, especially indoors, the photos aren't going to turn out that great, which you'll notice from the video clips coming up. But if you were in a pinch and your phone was broke, I guess you could use this to snap a quick photo of something. So this does have 1080p or 720p for the video quality. You've got a few different aspect ratios to choose from, and then they have a lot of the basic options, but you can also go in and change exposure, white balance, scene mode, and then you can also add grid lines. Most basic features that pretty much any mobile camera is going to have. But I wouldn't expect super high quality photos from a tablet like this. Keep in mind this is only 150 bucks. You can also choose between albums. You got photo, business card, PowerPoint slide, whiteboard, and document. For some reason they like to do this little tab here over to the side, which is basically YouTube, but they want you to use the Lenovo ID. Personally, I don't think I would use that, but I guess maybe some people would. What I would probably use a lot more is just the Google News feed, so I'm glad they at least keep that in there. One thing I'm curious about is how the speakers sound, so let's go ahead and test that real quick. When it comes to which has better speakers, I don't really think either are that great. Neither one is as loud as my iPad 10.2 inch, but surprisingly the 8.4 inch is actually a tad louder than the 10.1. Okay, so my first thoughts on these speakers is, yeah, they're pretty loud and they sound pretty decent as well. Let's try it without the Dolby Atmos just to see what the difference is. Now, probably the biggest downside to both of these tablets are the front and rear facing cameras. To me, both are really bad and pretty much the same quality on both. So which one is worse than the other? Actually, they're both really bad. Although, come to think of it, my new iPad 10.2 inch, the camera isn't that great on that one either. Okay, so yeah, the speakers on this are definitely pretty decent, especially if you're using the Dolby Atmos. Now you can go up to 1080p at 60 frames per second in the YouTube app. Unfortunately, you're only going to get standard definition in the Netflix app, which I kind of had a feeling on the Lenovo tablets. For whatever reason, I don't think they get those certified. I'm not sure what all the details are, but yeah, it's usually standard definition on Lenovo tablets. So after running the benchmark tests, I've got to say the results aren't too impressive, but I don't think you can expect a whole lot from a tablet that's only $150. The single core score was only 167, while the multi-core score was 894. So definitely a little bit slower than, say, the Galaxy Tab A 8.4 or the 8-inch version with S Pen. Wi-Fi speeds on this seem pretty much on par with other devices that I've tested. 110 megabits per second usually is the max for my Wi-Fi. Now this does have dual band Wi-Fi, so you're going to get 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Now one downside to this tablet is when I did the battery drain test, I couldn't quite make it to the 5-hour mark while streaming video at 100% brightness. And then to charge it back up to 100%, it took just under 3 hours total, so that's pretty much in line with other tablets I've tested. I'm just not sure why the battery life isn't that great on here. Although I know I would probably never use this at full brightness. Still, when compared to other tablets, that's definitely below average. So even though this is considered a budget tablet, the good news is it has decent performance for some of the most popular games. I tested this on PUBG Mobile, and even though it had the lowest graphics settings, with medium frame rates, it played fairly smooth with only minor choppiness here and there. Nothing that I would complain about for only 150 bucks. Keep in mind, this game is pretty well optimized for mobile devices, and I also tested this tablet on Call of Duty Mobile, and it probably played better than PUBG, mainly because this game is really well optimized for most devices. So it played fairly smooth with hardly any choppiness at all. I also tested out Asphalt 9, just to make sure everything was okay there, and sure enough, it had plenty of power to get through a couple races. So if you want a pretty cheap device for mobile gaming, I would have no problem recommending this tablet for that. Probably the best part of this tablet is the full HD display. It's large, bright, and watching movies on here is a joy, especially if you're watching the latest tech videos on YouTube, or just trying to catch up on some episodes you've missed on Netflix. And with a set of decently placed speakers, you definitely can't go wrong with this budget tablet. So for only 150 bucks, I probably would go with this over something like the Fire HD 10. And it'll be hard to get something this size at this price point from Samsung.
So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from FishBee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.